Butterfly Song 1. There is something between us, like a river flowing, something moving us to different shores. Mist comes, covers your face. With averted eyes, I feel your departure. Know that change is on the wind. We used to sing with one voice. Now yours soars over the mountain. I see crystal spires rising between us, feel something growing large within me. The heart no longer fits within my hand, but moves beyond your shadow. You've become a butterfly who soars around my head, flying close to the trees. The sky has no limits. You soar beyond my grasp, then land in my hair, fluttering with wings of beauty. I sing of your sweetness, your beauty. We bridge our distance with love. The melody carries me to you. We sing to each other, the song rising in our hearts, filling us up. We sing alone. The mist departs. We return to the river, I to the dock, you to become water falling. I wrote that for my daughter when she was heading to New York to go study at Alvin Ailey. And it's like when your oldest child is leaving, suddenly something has to be done. Witness. He said, I have danced in the shoes of my enemies, seen the tree of death and wept bitter tears. I have seen the rope and understood when they see you as less than human. When they call you savage, they then can do anything in the name of their God. Morning glimpse. Sometimes I catch a glimpse of him, sitting up, lost in the morning meditation, and he looks like an old Hebrew prophet. I swear it's God's fire that has grayed his beard and temples. We've done this before, walked the holy mountains, been at the water's edge, listened for that voice in the stillness. This man, who in my youth seemed so full of innocence and isolation, has fallen under the power of the word. He has been swept up in that awesome light, almost drowned in the nectar of music so sweet that one would proclaim it divine. I want to kiss his eyelids, feel that devotion in a woman's way. But no, this is not my business. This is something else, and I will not tempt his senses or lull him into desire. I will not put myself before him as a Jezebel. There is honor in this, watching as he prays, watching as he sits with eyes closed, listening for that still voice in the silence. I am reminded that each morning brings with it the hope of redemption. Winter's lessons. She was full of winter's lessons, counting months on her fingers, stirring her tea with an old wooden spoon, wondering how she got through those long winter nights. If someone had asked her, she'd tell them how sorrow stacks up like cords of wood. She'd explain the small pops and explosions that take place, like when a log finally catches and the sparks fly. She'd tell them of tears that danced down her cheeks in rivulets, how when they finally dried, they'd leave trails only she could follow, take her on backwoods journeys through memories smoky and fine. How she was so sure she'd been with him in that place of dreams. In the moments before waking, how excuse me, how if she listened closely, she'd almost catch a snatch of conversation, hear his voice or the sound of his laughter. She'd tell them about those long walks through the woods and how she could now identify the trees by touch. Notice when more leaves had fallen, how often the only thing she could talk to were the trees, and their silence sometimes answered hers, and other times the leaves shimmered and winked for her. How when she saw the last of them fall, she knew she'd made it another season, another month, another night. I wrote this for my husband and his best friend, Will Dodger. 2 men lay in the darkness, captives in this urban jungle, rootless, wanting. They listen to the street noise, hear scattered bits of conversations. One is a hammer, the other like smoke, elusive. They are fire and water, squeezing desire into steam. 2 men in conversation, talking long into the night about consciousness, God, and miracles. Remembering their youth, their long-haired golden days, days of promise when all seemed possible. 2 trains running on opposite tracks. Stark realities, an inverted heart, an open fist, winding down years and valleys, coming to the moment when understanding comes like knots on a silken cord. They know what they know. Then again they don't. Words woven together in silence and urgency. They sit amid books and records that are the soundtracks and stories of their lives, washed in muted colors. They are like rapids, bubbling and splashing, tumbling over rocks, moving swiftly like ideas and yearnings. Time is everything in this moment. They're intrepid, dueling with words, dancing on the edge of reason, mad with the fire of love. They speak of tongues twisted, threads unraveling. They know intimate rantings and devilish whirlwinds, and at times they laugh uproariously, and at times silence bridges the gap like words never could. Friendship, a bond, a dance, a stop and start with none of the props to hold it in place, a stepping into and away from, a coming home, a leaving, and a return through fire and ice. Years like patchwork, holding together pieces. Decades have furrowed brows, etched gray into beards, adding its flourish. Lines appear on their faces, and soon, maybe words will fall like ashes in a heap on the hearth, and it will just be the twinkle of an eye or a glance that ships these 2 souls out to sea.